Hello, fourth grade. So for our next project, we're going to be making word art inspired by Martin Luther King Jr. Make sure that you listen to the read aloud that I posted called Martin's Big Words. It's a story about the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Okay, so for this project, I used crayon and watercolor for mine, but you can use any art materials you have at home. So if you want to do this in marker, colored pencil, crayon, oil pastel, you can use any of those art supplies, okay? All right, so what we're going to start with is just white paper, and you'll start with a pencil. That way, if you want to change anything, it'll be easy to erase from there. I'm going to start with a black marker to outline my words in. That way you can all see them and see how I make my bubble letters, okay? So what you're going to do is go to that slide that says choose 3 words to use in your artwork. So there's 8 words posted there. You're going to choose 3 out of those 8, okay? And then on the next slide, I also have definitions posted of each of those words. So if you're not sure what a word means, you can look at those definitions. I'm going to start with my biggest word in the middle. I'm going to do the word peace. And as you can see, I lightly drew out the word in pencil first, and now I'm just going in with my marker, and I'm tracing over my letters. And if you have a different way you do your bubble letters, or if you want your bubble letters to look different than mine, that's perfectly okay. There's many different ways we can make our bubble letters. We can make them kind of blocky, more bubbly. You can do thin, you could do thick. All right, so there's the word peace. And the definition of peace is it's a stress-free state of security and calmness that comes when there's no fighting or no war. Okay, so for my next word, I'm going to do the word diversity. So as you can see, I just lightly drew it out in pencil. So now I'm just going to go in with my marker, and I'm going to make it into bubble letters. And I'm making these bubble letters a little thinner. In my finished piece here, I decided to do capital ones. It really doesn't matter. This one I'll do lowercase for these words. Whatever you want to do for your work. So I'm just going around those pencil lines that are posted. Okay. And then I want my Y a little closer. There we go. So diversity. In the definition of diversity, it means differences. So people may be different in many ways, including race or ethnicity, age, disabilities, language, culture, appearances, or religion. So we're all diverse, we're all different, and that's okay. We're all special in our own ways. And let me just erase my pencil lines now. Okay, so one more word. I picked the word courage. So I'm going to outline my word. All right, there's courage. And the definition of courage is the ability to do what frightens you. It's the willingness to confront fear, pain, danger, uncertainty, or intimidation. And now I'm going to erase all my pencil lines once again. So now we can start coloring. Okay. So because I don't want this video to go on and be way too long, I'm just going to color a few things, okay? But when you do yours, you're going to get it all colored, and you can look at my finished example here. So I'll be using crayon for mine. All right, I'm going to do the letter P. And you can color it however you want. If you want to just fill it in with like one color or do multiple colors, you could do that. For my finished one, I did the rainbow on the word piece. You could even do different patterns on your work, different lines. It's however you want it to look. Okay, as long as you are choosing your 3 words from the slide that I posted and you're doing the bubble letters, then you can just color it and add any art materials you want to it, okay, and make it your own. And I'm pushing pretty hard with my crayon because I want to cover all those little white spots. And I think it looks better when you push a little harder with the crayon. It just brightens up that color. Okay, so there's my letter P. So I'm not going to color everything, like I said, just for the sake of this video not being way too long. Okay, so for the watercoloring, I'm just going to talk about a few things. So crayon works as a watercolor resist. So as you can see, I used white crayon with some purple and blue in there for the background. You could also use white oil pastel for that. But white crayon will work, and I'll show you. So it might be really hard to see, so if you need to lightly draw out like an outline, see, I'm just lightly drawing a peace sign. And then maybe I want some like little some little spirals and swirls. Okay, so you can add some lines, some decoration in that background. So once you do it in pencil, go in with your white crayon or oil pastel, and you're gonna push pretty hard. Just go over those pencil lines. Because like I said, when watercolor goes over the crayon, it works as a resist. And I will show you what I mean by that. Which, if you watch the birch tree video from the project before this, I also did a watercolor resist using white crayon with the snow. Okay, so I'm just going over all those pencil. I'm pushing pretty hard with my crayon. So before you paint, I would do all your crayon first and then save paint for the last step. Okay. All right, so for when you paint, I recommend having a paper towel nearby, water bucket, and of course a brush and your paint. Here's my paint here. Okay, so for this background, I did purple and black. So for this one, I'll change it up. I like this teal color. It's pretty. So I'm just adding my water into my watercolor. And then watch what happens when you go over our peace sign. So the watercolor just bounces right off the waxiness of the crayon and it shows up, which, like I said, it's called a watercolor resist. And it's happening again with our spiral. It'll happen again with all of our other lines. So it's a really cool watercolor technique you could use. All right. So when you're done, you'll just fill up your entire paper with paint. You can use any colors you want. And then it'll look something like this. And then just make sure you upload a photo of your work when you are done so I can see that you finished the project. All right, bye everyone.